Hello, what's going on everybody? It's a Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little video for you lads and lasses. Good evening. We are here to discuss the latest goings on in regards to Manchester United and the sale takeover process and all this guff that's been coming out tonight. And we will cover all the latest news and goings on in this video. Do us a favour at the start of this stream, smash that like button on this video. Give us a massive thumbs up if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the channel, of course, if you're new, and share it around on social media. The link's pinned to the top of the live chat if you want to give us a cheeky little retweet. Hope you're doing well, guys. You have to forgive me tonight. I'm very under the weather. Serious man flu on the go. Basically, I am dribbling worse than Harry Maguire after 10 pints right now, guys. And he's not the best of dribblers at the best of times, is he, this twat? So, you know, I've definitely got a bit of a snotty McTominay vibe on this evening, so apologies for that. Super ill, super snotty, super croaky, and Sean Dyche-esque. So forgive me. But I'm here to talk about the latest news and stuff anyway. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, drop a thumbs up on it. You know it makes sense. Welcome in everybody in the chat. Let's see who's here. PJ, hello to you, lad. We got Fugger, welcome in, lad. Stephen Shipman, how are you doing? Good to see you, good to see you. What's happening, my son? And hang on a second, actually, the live chat thing's not working here. Give me 1 second. But yes, good to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're all having a good evening and not doing too badly out there. Other than the horrendous news yesterday, of course, that Manchester United are potentially going to still be owned by the shithouse Glazers. The shithouse Glazers, guys, which is the worst possible news that we've had all summer long, well, it's not summer anymore, is it? It's bloody October, but all year, is what I'm saying. It doesn't get much worse than that after we've been waiting for 9 months, basically, to hopefully come to the conclusion that the Glazers were going to sell to Sheikh Jassim, and we would see Qatari ownership with massive investment and a full sale. 100% sale of the football club is what everybody wanted, for obvious reasons, you know, to get everybody basically on the same side. You know, because it's very divided at this moment in time, with the Glazers shithouses owning 69% of the club as well, and having the stranglehold of the control of the football club, but also having that vested interest in just making money out of this football club. It's a big problem. What we wanted is owners who had a clear vision at this football club, who wanted to try and have the ambition to match the top clubs in the world in every department. Obviously, we're not going to have that, are we? Chrissy J, thank you very much for getting in here with your highlighted member comment. He's been a member for 21 months. That is no small amount of time, lad. So thank you very much, Chrissy J. Let's get some love hearts in there for Chrissy. Thank you for being a member for 21 months. Let's get a hashtag 21 in there for this legend. Yeah, he says the rat got into bed with the snakes. Hashtag Glazers out. You see, I don't really know what Ratcliffe is thinking by trying to acquire 25% of the football club, and then the idea of one day acquiring more of the football club to get the total control at one point, because all he's actually doing is, you just said it there, Chrissy, he's got into bed with the Glazers, and all he's doing is painting himself as Glazer Mark II, basically under the guise of, oh, we're coming in to give outside investment and all this rubbish. But in reality, what he's just doing is enabling the Glazers to keep that stranglehold of Manchester United, enabling the Glazers to continue to fleece Man United and to con the fans, basically, and stop us from achieving what we could achieve on the football pitch. That's all he's actually doing. So he is setting himself up to be the public enemy number 2 around here now. So yes, we've got public enemy number 1. That is the Glazer shithouse family. Hashtag Glazers out. But obviously he's setting himself up to be public enemy number 2. And in fact, might as well just add him into the Glazer shill category, actually, as public enemy number 1, because, like I say, he's just enabling them to keep hold of this football club. It basically solves nothing. Yes, there will be some outside investment. It looks like about £1.35 billion or somewhere in that region will be injected into the football club, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe will end up with 25% of the club. But it doesn't actually change a whole great deal. I can't imagine that 1.35 billion is going to be used properly. I just can't imagine that will happen. It's not going to build us a new stadium. They won't do that anyway. there's a lot of debt that needs addressing. We wanted the debts to be wiped out. This is what's so frustrating about Sheikh Jassim's deal not taking the sort of the preference for the Glazer shithouses, is because the debts were going to be wiped out by Sheikh Jassim, essentially. The debts were going to be wiped out. The stadiums were going to be invested in. The team was going to be invested in. There would be millions, billions of investment taking place straight away once Sheikh Jassim came in. I don't think we can really say the same with what we're being offered here by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, him coming in and injecting the money into the club. Sure, but is it going to be spent properly? Is it going to actually, be utilised correctly? I don't think it will be. Hey, thank you very much, Simon Cowie, for getting your highlighted member comment in here. By the way, Bruce is first, actually. Brucey Bruce, thank you, Bruce, for being a member for 6 months. And for being a patron, you legend. He says 6 months, I've been watching for years. Brucey Bruce, thank you so much for getting in here, Bruce. I appreciate you, my lad. Let's get some love hearts in there for Bruce. Thank you so much for being a 6-month legend. I do appreciate that. You're a legend, sir. Get some #6 in there for him. It's been a long time, hasn't it, lad? Simon Cowie, thanks for being a member for 3 years. Crikey, what a legend. 3 years a legend of the channel. Mr. Simon Cowie says, Pig, Qatar should have paid up the money, and now we must give what happens next. Simon Cowie, right, okay, interesting comment you've made here, lad. Very interesting comment. Listen, what I personally think is, I don't blame the Qataris for pulling out of this deal whatsoever. Guys, smash a 1 in the live chat if you would have pulled out, if you're the Qataris, based on the fact that the Glazers wanted £7 to £10 billion out of a club that's worth £3.5 billion. Smash a 1 if you'd have pulled out too. There comes a point where it just becomes ridiculous for the Qataris to be fleeced that much. They were already paying a premium for the football club. They were prepared to pay, it's believed to be around about £5 billion for a football club that's worth about £3.5 billion. They were already paying 50% more, really, than what it was actually worth. So to expect them to just cough up the money and get the club, I think that's ridiculous, really. We can't expect them to do that. Well, what should have happened is the Glazers should have looked at the facts. They should have said, right, this club's worth 3.5 billion, and we could get 5 billion for it. That's amazing. Let's sell. That's what they should have done. They should have looked at the fact that Sheikh Jassim was offering the best for the United fan base as well, in terms of promises on the facilities, the infrastructure, the wider community being invested in around Old Trafford, etc. They should have made that decision not just from a monetary standpoint, but also from the standpoint of this is what's best for the shepherding of this football club for the future. Give it to somebody who wants 100% of the club, who's going to have the ambition, who's going to clear the debts, who's going to invest heavily, give the fans what they want. So it shouldn't even, the money thing should be a secondary thing. Unfortunately, we're dealing with capitalistic pigs in the Glazer family who only give a shit about the money, and so therefore that's their primary interest, is getting as much money as they can. If there's more value per percentage deal with the Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal, then I suppose they will go, that's why they've gone with that and rejected the Qataris. But I don't blame the Qataris for walking away. They were being asked to pay already well over the odds. They put a good solid offer on the table, which was there. Don't blame the Qataris. Blame the Glazers for not accepting this deal. That's the big problem. They could have quite easily accepted a very good offer on the table. Instead, they've elected to go with somebody who's going to be a Glazer shill, a Glazer yes man, just like anybody else, who's coming with 1.35 billion or whatever it may be, and they only get to sell a piece of the football club, which means that they get to retain grubby control of this football club, and they still get their pockets lined, and they own the football club going forward, and it's an appreciating asset, and one day in 5 years, whenever or not they do plan to sell another piece of the football club, they'll get more money for it then. So that's their thinking. That's their thinking. That's all that's going on here, is that the Glazers were too greedy. So I don't think it's anything to do with the Qataris. We should have absolutely just accepted their offer. That would have been what's best for Man United. So, Jams the Highlights, thank you so much for getting in here and being a member for 4 months. Check this man out as well. What a legend. Big up yourself. Shout out to Jams's channel as well. He's got a great channel, football blog and clips channel, Mr. Jams the Highlights. Big up yourself, mate. Thanks for being a member for 4 months. And you're a legend, sir. Thank you everyone who's in here, by the way. We've got over 200 legends in here. Forgive me, I am proper unwell tonight. But smash that like on this video, guys. Take a second to hit the likes if you're just getting in here. Every little like helps the channel and boosts us up there on the old algorithm. So please do smash that like on it. You know it makes sense. Right, okay, so let's get into it. So the Glazers could have accepted that bid from the Qataris, but they decided not to because they're greedy and they wanted a lot more. It made the bid from the Qataris almost sort of untenable, really, because they can't justify paying that much over the odds when Manchester United still needs heavy investment in it after they've bought it also. So if they were asking for 7 billion even, it's actually going to cost you more like 9 billion once you've cleared debts, once you've invested in certain areas that are desperately needing investment, it's going to cost you way more. So it just doesn't become viable for any buyer to buy the 100% of the football club unless you're going to sell it for a reasonable amount, which is about 5 billion at most. There you go. On the other hand, what's happened is Sir Jim Ratcliffe is prepared to sort of, get in bed with the Glazers. Sir Jim Ratcliffe now ready to buy 25% of Manchester United in the next days after Sheikh Jassim left the deal. Man United board will vote on the 25% stake bid in the next few days. Jim Ratcliffe wants sporting control and future major ownership after initial 25%. So this does seem to be like a clear move to one day potentially try and own 100% of the football club, or not even 100% of the football club, but the majority of the football club. So 51% at some point for Sir Jim Ratcliffe, which would give him complete control of the football club. Now, I don't really understand how all of this works, to be fair. So we're hearing this, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants 25% of the club, and that he will get sporting control. What does that even mean? Like, how can you have sporting control when you only own 25% of the football club and making all the decisions based on what the sporting side of things? I suppose it's better than having these satellite Glazer shithouses from afar. We've got Murtaugh and Arnold and these yes men in there for the Glazer shithouses. But I don't really understand, why would you be getting sporting control and making all of the footballing decisions just because you own a quarter of the football club? I guess it's there would be an agreement in place between the current owners and Sir Jim Ratcliffe in order to do this, and with the idea that in the future perhaps they'll pay out more, but buy out more of the football club from them. But it's very, very confusing. I mean, I just don't understand. But anyway, Fabrizio Romano, that's what he says there. By the way, Simon Cowie, thank you very much for this 9.999 super chat there, my son. Get in there, my son. Let's get some love in there for Simon. Thank you very much, bro. He says, Pig, the 3.5 billion is only an estimate based on the 10% that's on the stock market. The Glazers controlling the stake is private, so it's their price, not what's on the stock market. Simon Cowie, listen, I appreciate what you're saying, Simon Cowie. You're obviously very clued up on the matter, but guess what? I don't need my grandmother to tell me how to suck on knobs, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Because she knows. She knows, bro. And the reality is here that I already know what's going on in this football club, mate. It doesn't take a genius to work out that this club is not worth 7 billion, lad, okay? So the offer on the table from Sheikh Jassim was a good offer, mate, of 5 billionos. Come on, that's a heck of a lot of cash. This football club, the roof is leaking. The facilities are stuck in the 90s. The facilities are fucking C standard. You look at the top facilities around the league, the top stadiums and facilities, the likes of Spurs, the likes of bloody Wembley, or wherever you look at. Every stadium is massively more state-of-the-art than Manchester United right now. That's a big problem. We're £1 billion in debt. £1 billion in debt. And United aren't even a Goliath of a club on the pitch anymore. We don't win Champions Leagues. We haven't done so for a long time. We don't win Premier Leagues. We haven't done so for 10 years, lad. So the value in Manchester United, when you compare it to other sporting franchises around the world, not just in this country that have gone for a few billion, like Chelsea and stuff, but around the world, this is not worth more than 3.54 billion pounds. It just isn't. So trust me, Sheikh Jassim and co., they had put a heck of a fantastic offer on the table. The Glazers, the reality is, in my opinion, the Glazers were never going to sell. They were using this as a chance to see if they could make as much money as they can. When they actually spoke to supporters groups and had that sort of dialogue 9-10 months ago, when they first discussed about seeking outside investment, they did say they're going to explore the possibility of selling the football club in its entirety, but they're also exploring the options of outside investment to give us what we need. So if in the ideal situation for them, they can keep hold of this asset of United for now and for the future, and watch it grow. But they can now invest in certain areas of the club and appease the fan base and do some of the things that they should have been doing, but they don't have to spend a penny. But they still keep the majority stranglehold of the football club. That's what it comes down to, Simon. So, I honestly do think that, yeah, you're right in what you're saying. It's only an estimate, but it's a very good estimate, really. It's a fair estimate based on what other clubs are worth, what other franchises, sporting franchises in America and over here have gone for. Like, it was a heck of a good offer. 5 billion was a cracking offer for this football club, it really was. They should have accepted a bit, but they're too greedy. I mean, the reality is the percentage that Ratcliffe has offered it's a better percentage offer, if you know what I mean. So let's have a little look at this. So James Ducker from The Telegraph says that Ratcliffe to take control of football ops if 25% offer worth £1.35 billion gets to go ahead. So if you consider, if that's actually an accurate amount that's being offered here, obviously that values the club at towards £6 billion, which is a significant bit more than the proposed Sheikh Jassim bid, which per percentage wise perhaps suits the Glazers. They get to keep control. They are generating more pounds per percentage than they would have been able to do elsewhere, and they don't even have to spend their money to increase the value of the football club now over the next coming years exponentially. So, look, the fundamental decision lies with the Glazers to keep the club. They could have sold it, but they don't want to, clearly. They don't want to. They want to keep the football club, and there was a great offer on the table, but they want to keep it. So, yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying, but it's just, I personally think it was a good offer. James says it was not a good offer. Liverpool's value is £5 billion based on HT share sale. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. Well, let me ask the live chat, guys. Do you think £5 billion sterling was a good offer from Sheikh Jassim to the Glazers for 100% of Manchester United? Yes or no? Get your thoughts in there, honestly. Just have a vote in the chat. Maybe I'm way offline. Maybe I'm way out of line. But honestly, look at the where the club is at, off the pitch and on the pitch. Everything, facilities, infrastructure, debts, stadium, situation, everything. I think there's a heck of a good offer. Yeah, look at all the yeses coming in the live chat. So yeah, most people agree that it's a good offer because Manchester United right now is probably worth maximum £4 billion. Just based on like the situation right now, probably maximum £4 billion. So that's the significance of the matter here. It's a heck of a big offer. This. Ian says, yeah, mint offer, says Ian Rayson. Anyway, so it's a significant good offer. £5 billion for a leaky pie stand. You what? Exactly. Significant amounts of offers. Yeah, that's right, Jarvis. The Glazers own 69% of the football club. So well, there you go. In terms of where they're buying the stocks from, or the shares from, I should say, we don't know exactly where they're buying the shares from. So in regards to the percentages that the Glazers are going to give up here, they want to keep majority control, don't they? I personally think that only 18% of their shares would be on the table. So they would keep 51% essentially. And then Sir Jim would be buying the 7% from other shareholders. That's personally what I think. Obviously, we don't know the inner intricacies and workings of this deal. It's all just speculation. But that's kind of what I think, because they would want to keep the majority control. Now, we don't know. Nobody knows. Anybody that proclaims to know the actual makeup of this deal, you're obviously in the inner ring. So, I don't know. I mean, there's lots of speculation. I've seen speculation about percentages and who they're buying it from and how much for, etc. But we don't actually know at this stage. So that's what we have to remember as well, is that more will come out on this deal. And I'm sure we will find out the exact sources of these shares that are being purchased and who and where they're from and what amounts and etc. at some point for sure. But right now, there's a lot of speculation going on. I agree with you, K Cadet. It is. Can we get some RIPs in the chat, please, guys? I feel like this is the death of Manchester United. Unfortunately, this is the death, mate. We're in our final death throes of the last few seasons. It's made me bloody ill, I tell you that much. It's actually not that that's made me ill. I'll tell you what has made me ill. My missus has made me ill. That's what's made me ill. Oh, yeah, it's getting the germs all over the place. That's what I'm getting. But anyway, can't blame people for getting ill, can you? Or can you? Anyway, hey, K Cadet, you need to calm down mate. Calm yourself down there, bro. You need to calm down. So, listen, guys, let's get into it. Let's get more into it. Listen, it's disgusting, isn't it? But I personally think that the offer that was on the table was a good, fair offer. Connor says it's a disaster of a deal with there be new stadium or new training facilities. Don't think so. Precisely, I'm with you there, bud. Exactly. What's it going to be spent on? Right, so as I say, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is expected to sort of take over on sporting operations, football/sporting operations. I suppose it could be better. I mean, the first thing I would do is get rid of all those Glazer yes men and those shills, Arnold and Murtaugh and people like that. And there are reports that these guys at this moment are essentially like fearing for their jobs. Or not necessarily fearing for their jobs, but it could affect them. So Dickinson Times reporting that if Ineos offer is approved by the board, significant changes to the structure and personnel can be expected. Senior executives, including Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh, will be concerned about their futures. So it does seem like there may be a bit of a shake-up, which I'm not opposed to, because one of the first things I would do if I bought Manchester United is get rid of all of these fucking wanky suits that are running this football club into the ground and try and get some actual football people in there. Because unfortunately we do have a lot of wanky banker types, etc. Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos Group set to run United sporting plans. It means the new co-owner will be able to decide on manager, director and football and similar positions. This is via Fabrizio Romano. I don't know if we can take this as verbatim or whatever is what's going on, because how do we really truly know what the deal is, particularly if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is owning a minority stake in Manchester United? It doesn't really add up to me, but well, obviously you have voting rights and that kind of thing. So interesting, very interesting. Ben Jacobs, also a little bit more from Ben Jacobs on this matter, said that Ratcliffe wants an eventual majority and sporting control. So eventually one day he would like to buy enough shares to have the controlling stake in Manchester United. So this is, I think, a move for him to get into the door, obviously, and for the eventual idea one day for him to be able to completely control and own Manchester United, or at least the majority of Manchester United. So nothing's totally done yet, but a deal is closer than ever. Sheikh Jassim withdrew after final talks. He didn't make a sixth bid last week. So, I don't blame him for pulling out at all, but clearly this is just bullshit tactics from Sir Jim Ratcliffe to get in the door, enable the Glazers to keep the stranglehold of United and running this football club into the ground. Awful, awful news. There's no doubt about it in my eyes. I mean, look, this is what I want to talk about as well. So there's very much a big concern about what's going to be happening now at the club. So this is from the 1958, and they say that a fair few statements going around today. So just a couple of updates from the 58. As we said before, full sale only is what we stand for. The full removal of the Glazers' 69% shareholding. We will continue to protest until this vile family are removed from every fabric and area of this football club. And that's how it should be, really. We don't want them here in any capacity. That's what I liked so much about the Qatari bid. It's not where the money's coming from or the state-funded aspect of it or anything like that, or just the fact that we'd have a shitload of money. No, it's the fact that they were prepared to buy 100% of the club and they wanted to, invest in the football club heavily. All this is really doing is just keeping the Glazers in here and spending somebody else's money, which is what the Glazers want. That suits them down to the ground because they don't like putting their own money into the football club. As it stands, says Ben Jacobs, Sheikh Jassim has no active plans to buy another football club, and the rumours of an Inter-purchase are wide of the mark. So there has been a lot of speculation since this news broke yesterday that Sheikh Jassim have pulled out of this deal, that he might go and try and buy like a Premier League rival like Liverpool or something, or maybe Inter Milan or another football club. It seems that that's not the case. He's a Manchester United fan. I think it was a dream club for him to own. Perhaps they would go and buy another football club. That would be a debacle though, wouldn't it? Imagine if it turned out that, I don't know, Everton or even Liverpool or some decent club in the Premier League that has potential for, success in the future with big investment. It would be a nightmare if the Qataris ended up buying that football club. And then we have to compete with that in the Premier League also when we've got the Glazers still as our owners and we get to see what could have happened. It's like that TV show Bullseye back in the day. Here's what you could have won. And it's some big-breasted model stood next to a bloody speedboat and you then ended up with bloody Jack All because you fucking shat it. That's basically what's going on there. So, we certainly don't need that. We don't need that. We certainly don't need that. Also, Must have been sort of very vocal on this situation as well. Man United Supporters Trust, and this is what they've said. Basically, they said that it would be wildly optimistic to think that the Glazers are acting in the interest of the supporters or are making ownership decisions which don't centre on their own priorities. Let's just unpack that for a second. So, exactly. You think about what they want, it's just about the monetary gain for them. If they were making the decision based on what's best for Manchester United and what's best for the supporters of Manchester United, clearly they would have accepted the $5 billion offer from Sheikh Jassim because it gives the United fans, it gives the club everything that we want. It enables us to be able to compete. It gives us the facilities, the infrastructure, the stadium, the community boost, everything. Whereas now we're not going to have that. And so they don't care about us. They don't care about the club. They don't care about what's best for Manchester United. Hashtag Glazers out, guys. Enough is enough. We want our fucking football club back. Hashtag full sale only. I'm still just holding out a tiny bit of hope that there's still going to be another bid from Sheikh Jassim or something. And he was testing the Glazers' resolve here to see whether or not they have the bollocks to walk away from a big deal like that. I don't know. But it seems like they have withdrawn. And it does look like Sir Jim's going to buy a minority stake in the football club and worm his way in that way, which is a disgrace. But I'm still holding out some hope that that's not going to happen. But look, full sale only, guys. This just isn't acceptable. I want to get something up from Gary Neville here as well, from earlier on, which, he's put a big post on social media, so I can't put it on the screen because it's like a bloody essay. But some of the situations that are, some of the issues that are coming in regards to this potential takeover that are presented to us, can't get away from. So Gary says that it's worth setting out my non-negotiables on a takeover of Manchester United that I made over a year ago. So a new sporting project, a new or redeveloped Old Trafford, a new training ground, full redevelopment of the surrounding land to create a Manchester United world and an amazing fan experience. 5, pay off the debt and stop taking dividends until the above is done. And he's adding a 6, which the club requires leadership that is a statesman-like or on major issues that enables a fairer, more inclusive and diverse game. Now, I can't disagree with any of these points from Sir Gary Neville. I just called him Sir Gary Neville. Or maybe one day. I'm getting confused with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I just called him Sir Gary Neville. To me, he should be the bloody Sir. But anyway, Sir Gary Neville. That is a good one. Anyway, from Gary Neville, right? I agree with these points. We do need a new sporting project. We do need to have Old Trafford redeveloped. We do need a new training ground. We do need a full redevelopment of the surrounding land. We need all of these things, and Sheikh Jassim was going to give us that. Are we going to get that from this new Sir Jim Ratcliffe 25% investment of £1.35 billion, as well as players, as well as stadium, as well as clearing the debt? Are we going to get that? Yes or no, guys? Are we going to get that? Yes or no, guys? It's a no from me, Carol. We're blatantly not going to get all of that stuff that we need. We might get some of it. There's some reports actually that suggest that, it's more important in regards to Sir Jim Ratcliffe for them to focus on the performance side of things at Manchester United as opposed to the facilities and Old Trafford and that kind of thing. Because of, if you don't have the players performing on the pitch, then what good is it having a good shiny stadium? That's some of the stuff we've heard recently come out. But goodness knows, I mean, in my opinion, you've got to do all or nothing. You've got to clear the debts. You've got to improve all areas and aspects of the team. Yes, you do have to buy players, but I think we can see from the last 2 transfer windows that buying players is not really the problem area of Manchester United. It's the whole hierarchy, the structure, the infrastructure, everything at the football club, the way the club is ran as well from the top down is a big fundamental problem. So it needs a complete overhaul. And unless you're going to do that, what good is spending another few hundred million on players? What good is that? So it's very, very, very concerning that we're hearing, that those potential ambitions from Sheikh Jassim are just completely ignored. And then also, this is what Gary Neville went on to say. He said, my preference is always and will now be for a Glazer family full exit. They've overstayed their welcome in Manchester, yet seem oblivious to this fact. There is much up in the air, but I threw down the following questions I'm sure fans would be like answering. There will be lots more, but here's a starter for 16. So 16 questions that Gary Neville has brought up here, which are important points that we need to think about for the new ownership of Sir Jim Ratcliffe and how it can affect Manchester United. By the way, Jason Green, thank you very much there, Jason Green, for getting in here, lad. I appreciate you, sir. He says, Flying Pig United, is he just being clever? He could be like Liverpool's owners, better than the Glazers. Is it all bad, 100% Glazers or 25% rat? Honest question. Honestly, I see what you're saying. Honestly, I just don't really think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe getting on board with a minority stake in Manchester United and getting in bed with the Glazers does much for Man United. Yes, it gives us a bit of money to spend. The problem isn't really about spending money. The Glazers have spent a bit of money when it comes to the club generating cash with the commercial revenue that we get and reinvesting that back into players. But they haven't reinvested in the areas that is required. And they've actually invested it poorly over the years. There's so many examples of big high-profile players that they've spent big money on just because it's a big name or they think that's the best thing to do. And it hasn't really worked out for us properly. They haven't recruited well. They haven't spent the money well that they have spent. They have spent money. They've just spent it poorly. So you could probably give them $5 billion to spend on players. They'll still end up buying Slabby Maguire and Paul Pogba and melters like this. They don't have the right people in charge in the background making the right footballing decisions, I don't think. It's tough, obviously. We need to increase scouting networks, recruitment networks, all that sort of stuff, youth networks. We need to increase and improve all of those sides of the game. We used to be the absolute best at that. Now you're seeing teams like bloody City or Southampton or whoever, they're obviously making strides in those areas. Manchester United should be the best when it comes to youth recruitment. We should be the best when it comes to scouting networks. We should have the biggest, broadest scouting network in all the world and get the pick of the best talent first. But we don't get that anymore. We don't get that anymore. And they make bad decisions like buying big, overhyped, big-name players just for commercial reasons rather than going to get, good young up-and-comers like, say, Moises Caicedo or Julian Alvarez or Ruben Dias in these players when we had the opportunities to buy these players and they were offered to us and we said no, even for a chump change. And now look at all of these players. It's bad decision-making. It's not just the money. It's about having the right people, the right hierarchy, the right setup at Manchester United to make us great again. And we don't have that. We don't have that. So I don't think Sir Jim coming in and injecting 1.35 billion into our club does anything for us. I'll be honest. Thank you, Jason Green, for getting in with your super chat there and your question, man. I appreciate you. Jody Philander says, hi, Pig. Just to let you know, I hate the Glazers. Get in there, Jody Philander. Hashtag 33 months a legend, this guy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's get some hashtag 33s in there for this legend who's been a member for nearly 3 years. Top man, Jody. Thank you so much. Hope you're keeping well, by the way, Jody, lad. Much love to you, you absolute legend. Right, so let me just read out Gary Neville's points here, and I have to say that I have questions in regards to all of these as well. So let's just get into it very quickly. By the way, guys, if you're just getting in here, keep smashing those like buttons on this video. Give us a massive thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Help us get to 77,000 subscribers. Get your subscribers in if you're new. And also, subscribe and chat. If you want to have your say, you can get involved in the community chat here by subscribing and commenting your thoughts. And we will get into a bit of a Q&A at the end of this vid. The Fergie days are over. Well, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Okay, so, right, these are some points. So, what does the distribution of funds look like? Is all the cash being taken out of the club? This is what we need to know. So, 1.35 billion invested into the club, say. What's that being used on? Where is the clear plan for that money to be spent? How much is on players? How much is on infrastructure? How much is on facilities? How much is in the stadium? How much is on clearing debts? That's what we need to know. Which Glazers are going, or is it a family dilution? That's what we need to know too. Is there certain Glazers that want to stay, certain Glazers that want to be bought outright? How does it impact the New York Stock Exchange shareholders? Does the executive stay the same? That's another big question as well. Do we still have the same people in charge of the football club? Does the sporting side stay the same above the manager? Who within the board has sporting control? Are there future dilution clauses with the Glazer family in any deal you do as a minority shareholder? When are they? We're maxed out on credit card and debt. How is the deal going to change the capital structure and financial issues the club has? Is any further debt being placed on the club? Is any debt being paid off? How does this deal impact the board composition? How does a minority shareholder impact the negative culture within the entire organisation? Old Trafford's tired and in need of significant redevelopment. How does this resolve the issue? Will this deal allow the development of the training ground to its required standard? Old Trafford requires significant investment on its surrounding land. Does this deal impact this requirement? How does a minority shareholder stop cultural decline across a whole organisation? These are all questions that get thrown up in the air with a minority shareholder being brought into the club and buying £1.35 billion worth of shares and getting 25% of the football club. It's a shit show, guys. There's no clear vision. It's just more cooks to spoil the broth at Manchester United. More cooks to spoil the broth. And the broth is already absolutely burned and tastes disgusting. So I don't see how any of these issues really get resolved properly by getting Sir Jim Ratcliffe in. Fair enough if, we're clearing all of the debts. We're spending this on the stadium. We're spending this and that, and we're getting the players, and everything's going to be sorted out. Even then, we'd still have the Glazer shithouse hierarchy at this football club who don't run this football club properly. So, this fixes nothing. This fixes nothing. We don't need a lick of paint. This fixes nothing. We need a complete overhaul from the top down. Get in there, Rushmana. How you doing, you legend? He says, further protests being organised by the 1958. Get in there, my son. Big up yourself. Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. That's what needs to happen, really. I think that's the only way to really stop things progressing under this new proposed deal. I think we can't actually take this lying down anymore. We can't. Fans, I don't know what... Like I said, I think the only best thing that can happen, really, is for games not to go ahead. And if that means, you've got to get fans out there stopping these games taking place, that may be the best thing for this football club, because it will make them take note. It will affect all of their deals and sponsors. It will stop their match day revenue. It will stop their TV right revenue as well, when you consider that the broadcasters will not be happy whatsoever with having to broadcast still pictures of people stood around talking about bloody people outside stopping the games going ahead. Do you know what I mean? They won't like any of that. So I'm pretty sure these things will make the Glazers realise that they just need to pack up and fuck off. I think that's what will happen. But that's the only way it will happen. What makes you think the Glazers will watch this particular protest and think you know what's let's sell to Qatar? Well, in terms of the protest, Cadet, and whatever protests that there are, I don't think that we can even pretend now. The protests haven't done really that much, have they? They still want the club. They still own the club, and they want the club. It's about making it a pretty volatile situation for them, I think. That's what it needs to be, really. They need to know that they won't be making any money, or hardly any money, compared to what they could if they weren't here in terms of the football club. You know, that's what needs to happen. I think that almost the club needs to grind to a halt for a period of time. So those guys just don't make any money. And there's all these issues that are presented. They're getting fines from the FA and the Premier League, and they're having sanctions put against them for not being able to field a team, or not being able to actually attend the games and let the games go ahead. I think that these are the things that will make the most sense and get the Glazers to actually take note. I don't think they'll do that for anything other than actually a full-scale shutdown in the short term of football operations, basically, which obviously nobody wants as a fan. But sometimes you've got to be called to be kind. You've got to go backwards first to then go forwards. And I think once they actually had their issues on a plate like that and they were not getting the money that they were getting, I think they would listen up and sell. And they would potentially sell the football club. We've heard it from the 1958. We've heard it from everyone. It's a hashtag full sale only situation. That's what the fans want. And if we don't get that, we won't be happy. We don't want the Glazers here any longer. Exactly, Sub 2. You see lemonade stands run better. I'm not surprised. Right, guys, I'm actually really under the weather tonight, so it's not going to be a horrendously long stream, but I'm going to get into the chat now and see what you legends have got to say about this whole matter. We're just going to have a bit of a chat about this now, you know. It's a horrible situation. It is what it is, really. There's 350 legends in here. We're nearly at 200 likes. Keep hitting the thumbs ups. Give us a repost on social media. It's pinned to the top of the live chat. I'm going to go over there and shout everyone out real quick, and then we're going to get into the live chat and have a bit of a chinwag. So stick around. Aaron Homeyard, Paul Nangle, The Goat, J United and Gaming, Larry Hasser, Stephen Braun, John Boy Cat, Kieran, The Butcher of Manchester, Sir Monkey Boy, Mr. Sims, all retweeting us on Twitter there. Thank you so much, lads and lasses, for each and every one of you legends. I appreciate you. Right, I'm going to get into the chat now, guys. Have your say. It's just a short one from me tonight comparatively to my longer ones. And I have got a FIFA stream to do in a bit as well, which I'm not looking forward to, guys, because I'm bloody ill. But we're going to soldier on anyway, because it's what we do. But we're just going to try and take it reasonably easy. So, yes, I am, Young Wizard. I am, mate, yes. If Pig streams FIFA, sick. He's a flipping legend. I am doing it, mate, yeah. I am streaming it sick. I've got to keep the show on the road, lad. I'm particularly under the weather today, though. But, you know, we'll soldier on, lad. Yeah. Rashmano's loving it. Simon says, Pig, there is laws that would allow the club to sue the 1958 and must if they stop games and the fans involved will pay the price. Well, the thing is, how are they going to really pinpoint all of that? I'm not talking about one supporters group or two supporters group doing this. I'm talking about a united fan base against the Glazers. How can they pinpoint every single individual fan, you know, as a collective? They can't. So you ever seen that scene from Looking for Eric? You know, Looking for Eric, when the postie guy's being bullied or whatever by those fucking shit-ass fake wannabe gangsters. And he gets a coach load of United fans to go to his bloody house, and they're all wearing Eric Cantona masks. And they send the bloody message to that drug dealer, fake gangster wannabe prick, that if you fuck with our guy, you're going to get battered by 100 Cantonas, mate! Yeah? No, that's the sort of attitude I'm talking about, Manchester United fans have. Everyone needs to put on a fucking Cantona mask, stand outside the bloody stadium and stop these fucking wankers from proceeding with their football operations, lad. That's what I'm talking about. So how are you going to pinpoint that? How are you going to sue a bunch of 100 Cantonas, mate? How are you going to do that? How are you going to sue 100,000 Cantonas, mate? You know what I mean? Yeah. Great movie, that, by the way. Great scene. That's what needs to happen. Kenny not found. Welcome in, lad. How you doing? Oh, dude. Onana's a problem as well. I'm not even getting into any player issues we've got at the moment, of which we've got lots, because there's obviously more pressing issues afoot. It's definitely not hay fever, Mace Windex. We're all run down with some serious man flu on the go in this house. Giving a good Cantona kick to the cranium, absolutely. Battering by 100 Cantonas coming up. Well, Simon, I mean, listen, sometimes, you've got to crack a few eggs, mate, if you want to make an omelette, you know what I mean? And at the moment, we certainly would like an omelette instead of this bullshit broth that the Glazers are serving up, which tastes of fucking arse, bro. Manchester United isn't united. Sadly, it's not. But it needs to be, doesn't it? The fans need to just say no more. No more of this absolute shithousery from the owners. And let's get gone. Let's get you gone. Let's make them accept the bloody Sheikh Jassim deal, guys. You can't make them do anything because they legally own it, but you can actually affect them to the point where financially they're in the shit at Manchester United and they go, you know what, 5 billion is a fucking cracking offer. See you later on. Let's piss off into the sunset. You can get to that point. My time here is done. I wish you all well. Hashtag Glazers out. Get in there, Rushmano. What sort of a message is that? My time here is done. I wish you well. Very formal, mate. Very formal there, Rushmano, lad. Let's get those Glazer shithouses out, please. The dreaded flu season. But Rushmano, you're a bloody legend, lad. I have, mate. That was a cracking video, lad. Guys, check out the Extra Clips channel, !extra in the live chat. Go and check out the new Forza rant video that Jams have made a compilation of me playing Forza the other night with you legends. And all the rant little pieces and stuff. It was an absolute shambles. Berber says, yeah, it's a great video there, Jams. You bossed it, lad. Moaning in a live chat won't help any of us. Take it to the sponsors. You're all online, clearly. Doesn't matter if you live on Sir Matt Buzzway or Australia. No, you're absolutely right, bud. I completely agree with that. Don't buy the merch. Don't buy the MUTV. Don't give any money to the football club. And also, don't give any money to the sponsors of the football club. And be very vocal to those sponsors that they are disgusting for supporting this Glazer shithouse regime. And then maybe some of these sponsors will listen up and it will affect the Glazers in terms of financially. That's what we need. It was a good vid, wasn't it, DJ Superfly Guy? Yes, big up yourself, Jamser, for editing that, mate. It was class. Great stuff. Check it out, guys. Check it out. Check it out on the Clips channel. Flying Pig United Extra. Oh, let's chip in and outbid Sir Jim Glazer. Yeah, I know. It would be a dream, wouldn't it, if this could be fan-owned. But I don't think the Glazers care. They don't care. If they cared, they'd give it to someone who was going to shepherd this club into brighter days. They don't care. They just want money. Chris Koo, thank you for the super chat. Says, sorry, but we as fans don't have the right to stop the proceedings of a business, no matter how much we care about it, as much as it pains me to say it. Well, actually, there's a right for peaceful protest. I'm not talking about any, violent stuff like that, but there's a right for peaceful protest. If vegans are allowed to pop outside a meat-selling butcher's and make a right horrible song and dance of it and affect the business of that establishment because they've got the right for protest and free speech, then they can exercise that right. And if that's how it goes, then Manchester United fans can certainly do the same. So I actually do think that there is ways, look at these Stop Oil protest wankers. There is ways that Manchester United fans could get the message through to these Glazer shithouses without there being, any heinous crimes or anything. We've got the right to a peaceful protest, and we've got the right for vocalising our discrepancies with these owners, mate. 100%. Big T says stopping games is not peaceful, Pig. Well, it is. I'm not talking about physically hurting anybody. What I'm talking about is, like a sit-in on the, essentially you look at all these incidents where it's happened in the past where games have not gone ahead. For instance, the Liverpool game. Did that not send a big message? Was it reasonably easy for them to stop? Well, there was a lot less numbers involved with what could potentially be a full-scale protest, and it stopped the game going ahead. Now, there's definitely ways that could be done. So that's all I'm saying. I don't have all the answers, but I think it would be very much good for us if we stopped the games for a few games going ahead. I think it would make them listen because they know that their revenues would be down significantly. Zamiasi, thank you very much indeed for getting in with a $9.99 super chat. He says, when current owners bought City, why did they never buy United? Biggest club, and you could have had Pep instead of Ollie, Maguire and co. Zamiasi, I think that there's probably a lot of reasons why they didn't. They probably didn't because the Glazers shithouses had Manchester United, and they probably didn't want to sell the football club just like they don't want to now, even though there was cracking offers on the table. That's probably what it comes down to. It's just monetary-wise, it wasn't a very good time to buy the club. I mean, the Glazers only been here for a few years then as well. I think there's many reasons why they didn't do that. But super just chat. Whatever, mate. What's whatever, mate. We don't compare ourselves to those shitty scummers anyway. They're just a fake club anyway, lad. City were, yeah, exactly. That's a good point as well, PJ. City at the time, especially, was so cheap compared to Manchester United. That's so true. So true. Yeah, I'm going to read a few more comments out, guys. Then we're going to have to wrap this stream up, sadly, because we are going over to do a cheeky little gaming channel stream, of which I'm really not looking forward to. I'm ill, guys. I'm bloody ill, but we will get on there anyway and do it. So I'm just going to put the link in the live chat here. There it is, right there. But as always, you know, you can come back after this stream is finished and get your thoughts and opinions on about anything we've discussed in this video. Of course you can. And, you know, we'll keep the debate going after the vid. Simon Cowie, thank you very much there, bro. He says, Pig, have you tested, mate? That's how I felt, and it was COVID. Thank God I tested negative today. I hope you feel better. Thank you, Simon. I actually haven't tested. I do have some vid tests, actually. I'll do one after my FIFA stream, mate. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, my throat's got all sore as well, chesty as well, so it could be. It's got all the hallmarks of it, lad. I don't think I've ever had it, so we'll see. Simon, thank you very much for wishing me well. Let's get some love in there for Simon. Thank you very much for the super chat there, mate. And I haven't done a test yet, but I have got some tests, so I'll do one after my video tonight, lad. Thank you so much. Zaymi Yassi, thank you for another super chat as well. He says, we could rent a plane, Piggy parachutes during a home match to protest the Glazers. I like that idea, except that I'm actually completely scared of jumping out of a plane, mate. I don't understand how people do that for fun. I would probably end up just like, I don't know, landing in the centre circle with a full-grown dump in my pants, mate. I couldn't handle that, mate. No. I would poo my pants doing that, lad. But maybe another sort of method. Thank you, Sabiasi, for the idea, though. I like it. Get in there. Thank you very much for that super chat there, my son. I appreciate that. Oh, get a lemon and honey drip set up, says Robin Hood. You're trying to get your COVID shot off, fair play. I wish I didn't have mine, to be fair, lad, but, you know. Vitamin C and zinc tablets, that's a good shout, Stay Gold. Yes, I do need to get bang on it, don't I, lad? Absolutely. Ivo Bosage says it's uncanny. All of you MUFC streamers are sunny. Is that true, really? Bloody hell. Maybe it's something to do with the shithouse owners of this football club stressing everyone out, mate. You know it, Shadow Stoic. You know it. Kieran, I can't really condone such behaviours, lad, but, you know. Anyway, right. Guys, I've got to wrap this video up. May need electrolytes. I probably need a whole bunch of stuff. I've got to wrap this video up, but come and join us. If you want to keep this debate going, come and join us on the gaming channel. It's called Flying Pig Gaming. Here's the link right there in the live chat. Come over and hang out with us. We're going to play some FIFA for a few hours and get foot champs done and just dribble. So come and join us, guys. And that's the end of this stream, but smash the like before you go, hit the thumbs up, and make sure you do. Help us get to 200 likes on the stream. Come back afterwards, have your say on the whole shithouse Glazers and shithouse Sir Jim Ratcliffe situation, and let us know your thoughts and opinions on it, obviously, after this video is finished. Also, make sure you smash a like, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. And check out the gaming channel Flying Pig Gaming, the Clips channel Flying Pig United Extra as well on YouTube. Here's the link to the stream that we're doing literally now. Come and join us. I'll be 1 minute and then we'll get going, guys. So come and join us right now. Thank you, Gordon. I appreciate you. Thank you all the members. Thank you all the moderators. Thank you all the super chats like Zane and Simon and everyone who sent in a super chat there. Thank you everybody else, all the mods like Jonathan and Jamser and everyone. Thank you for tuning in and everybody else. That's it from me. Have a good one, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with some more United news and in a minute with some FIFA action. There's the link once again. Good night. God bless. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.